In the glittering heart of New York City, Maya Jackson, a radiant black entrepreneur, stood on the cusp of her dream wedding. 7 months pregnant, her heart swelled with love for billionaire Ethan Caldwell, a man who promised her forever. But on the eve of their vows, in the shadowed corridors of a Manhattan hotel, a single overheard conversation shattered her world. Ethan's voice, cold and mocking, confessed he was marrying her only for her tech startup shares. His laughter entwined with her best friend Chloe's. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife, yet Maya's spirit refused to break. Clutching her unborn child's future, she transformed pain into power, recording his words as a weapon. The next day, before 500 elite guests, she would not just walk down the aisle, she would ignite a revolution. This is no ordinary wedding tale. It's a story of a woman who turned heartbreak into a global reckoning, exposing lies and reclaiming her worth. From the ashes of deceit, Maya forged a legacy, proving that true strength is choosing yourself when the world expects you to crumble. Listen and witness her rise. In the pulsing heart of Brooklyn, Maya Jackson was a name whispered with awe. At 30, this black entrepreneur had built a tech startup, EmpowerCode, from her childhood bedroom into a multi-million-dollar empire. Her skin glowed like polished ebony. Her eyes carried dreams too big for the world to contain, and her 7-month pregnant belly was a proud testament to the life she was creating both in her womb and in her legacy. Her cream silk dress hugged her curves as she prepared for her wedding to Ethan Caldwell, a billionaire whose charm had swept her off her feet 2 years ago. Their love story was the talk of New York's elite, set to culminate in a penthouse ceremony atop the 1-pin-1 skyscraper, where Manhattan's skyline would witness their vows. Ethan was everything Maya thought she needed: polished, witty, and commanding, with a smile that could silence a room. His tech conglomerate, Caldwell Enterprises, dominated global markets. And his proposal, on a private yacht under July fireworks, had felt like destiny. He held her hand through morning sickness, whispered promises of a family, and gifted her a diamond ring that sparkled like her ambitions. Maya believed in him, in them, her heart blind to the cracks beneath his perfect facade. The wedding preparations buzzed with chaos and joy. Maya's parents, James and Lorraine, darted between caterers and florists, their laughter filling their Brooklyn brownstone. Pink roses and gold ribbons adorned every corner, while Maya's best friend, Chloe Bennett, a socialite with a sharp tongue and sharper stilettos, coordinated the bridesmaids. "You're gonna be a queen tomorrow," Chloe said, her smile a little too tight. Maya laughed, brushing off the odd vibe, her focus on the future. She rubbed her belly, whispering to her unborn daughter, "We're almost there, Grace." New York itself seemed to celebrate with her. The city's energy, taxi horns, street vendors, the hum of ambition mirrored Maya's own. She'd fought for her place here. A black woman in a tech world that rarely welcomed her kind. EmpowerCode's app, which taught coding to underserved youth, had caught Ethan's eye, and their shared vision for innovation bonded them. Or so she thought. The penthouse venue, with its floor-to-ceiling windows, promised a ceremony as grand as their love, with 500 guests, senators, CEOs, and influencers ready to toast their union. Yet, beneath the glamour, Maya felt a quiet unease. Ethan's late-night calls, his sudden trips, the way Chloe's gaze lingered on him, small things she'd dismissed as nerves. She stood in her bedroom, her white veil draped over a chair, and smiled at her reflection. "This is my moment," she told herself, ignoring the faint tremor in her chest. Tomorrow, she would be Mrs. Caldwell. Her daughter's future secured, her love sealed. The city that never sleeps held its breath for her, unaware that Maya Jackson was about to awaken a storm that would shake its foundations. The night before the wedding, Maya's legs ached from hours of rehearsals, but her heart was light. Chloe, ever the instigator, burst into her Brooklyn brownstone, her voice dripping with mischief. "Girl, you can't just sit here. Surprise Ethan at his hotel. Drop off that custom Rolex you got him." Maya hesitated, her swollen ankles protesting, but Chloe's insistence, paired with a steward, a tech journalist, anonymously leaking a tip about instability at Caldwell Enterprises. "Watch the wedding today," she hinted. The journalist, sensing a scoop, agreed to monitor. Maya knew the viral fallout would amplify Ethan's ruin. She also texted her cousin, a cybersecurity expert, to lock Ethan's access to joint projects. "He's out," her cousin replied within minutes. By 9 a.m., the brownstone was alive with wedding chaos. florists arranging roses, her parents directing caterers. Maya moved through it all, her face calm, but her mind a battlefield. Chloe arrived, all smiles, in a gold bridesmaid dress. "You look tired, Maya," she said, her voice syrupy. Maya's eyes narrowed, spotting Chloe's nervous glance. "Just nerves," she lied, her hand tightening on the bouquet, hiding the Bluetooth device. Chloe's betrayal stung, but Maya's revenge would sting harder. She slipped away to call Pastor Michael, the officiant. "Be ready for anything today," she warned. He chuckled, thinking it a bride's jitters. Maya didn't correct him. She needed the element of surprise. At 10 a.m., she stood before her mirror, slipping into her gown. The silk hugged her belly, her reflection fierce. "Grace, this is for us," she whispered, tucking the device deeper into the bouquet. Her parents knocked. "Time to go?" "Baby girl," James said. Maya nodded, her silence heavy. The convoy to 1-1 was ready, paparazzi already gathering. Ethan thought he'd won her. Chloe thought she'd outsmarted her. But Maya had outplayed them both. As the car rolled through Manhattan, she visualized the moment. 500 guests, Ethan's smug smile, Chloe's feigned innocence, and her voice calm. Lethal, unleashing the truth. New York's elite would witness a billionaire's fall, and Maya Jackson, a black woman who'd built her own empire, would rise. The stage was set, and she was ready to burn it down. Back in her Brooklyn brownstone, Maya didn't sleep. The recording played on a loop in her mind, Ethan's cruel words carving deeper with each repeat. Her bedroom, once a sanctuary of wedding dreams, felt like a war room. The veil on the chair mocked her, but her tears didn't fall. Instead, she sat at her desk, the glow of her laptop illuminating her face. 7 months pregnant, betrayed by her fiancé and best friend, Maya Jackson was no victim. She was a strategist, and her counterstrike was forming. She transferred the recording to a USB drive, then uploaded it to a secure cloud server. Her fingers shook, but her resolve was iron. She replayed the audio, noting every detail, Ethan's plan to seize him, power code, Chloe's complicity. Their laughter, each word fueled her. She wouldn't just expose them, she'd dismantle their worlds. Her first call was to her lawyer, Sarah Levine, at 2 a.m. "Sarah, I need the marriage license canceled by morning. Pay whatever it takes." Sarah, groggy but loyal, agreed. "Are you sure, Maya?" "I've never been sure," she replied, her voice steel. Next, she dialed Uncle Raymond, a venture capitalist who'd invested heavily in Caldwell Enterprises. "Uncle Ray, it's Maya. Pull your funding from Ethan's company. Now." He paused, sensing her urgency. "What did he do?" "Trust me, you'll see tomorrow. Just do it." Raymond didn't hesitate. "Consider it done." By 3 a.m., she'd contacted 2 other investors, planting seeds of doubt about Ethan's integrity. She knew his empire rested on trust, and she'd shatter it. Maya then turned to her tech skills. She hacked into her own startup systems, locking Ethan out of shared accounts. Empower code was hers, and he'd never touch it. She drafted an email to her board, hinting at a personal crisis that might impact partnerships, ensuring they'd back her when the truth emerged. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, each action a reclaiming of power. By 4 a.m., she stood, rubbing her belly. "Grace, we're not just surviving this, we're winning." She packed the USB drive into a small device, a Bluetooth connector she'd used to hijack the wedding's sound system. Her plan was bold. Play the recording mid-ceremony, let Ethan's words condemn him before Manhattan's elite. Chloe's betrayal would be exposed too. No one would escape. As dawn broke, her parents knocked, sensing something amiss. "Maya, you okay?" Lorraine asked. Maya nodded, her face unreadable. "I will be, Mama." She didn't share the truth yet. She needed to execute her plan first. The brownstone buzzed with wedding prep, florists, caterers, her parents' laughter. Maya moved like a ghost, her silence a shield. She slipped the Bluetooth device into her bouquet, its weight a promise of justice. At 6 a.m., she stood before her mirror, her gown laid out. The pain was sharp, but her eyes burned with purpose. Ethan thought her weak, Chloe thought her blind. But Maya was neither. She was a black woman who'd built an empire, and she'd protect it, and her daughter, with every ounce of her strength. The city awoke, unaware that Maya Jackson was about to rewrite her story in fire. 600 words. As the sun rose over Brooklyn, Maya's heart was a furnace of resolve. The recording of Ethan's betrayal was her sword. But she needed more to topple a billionaire. She sat in her home office, the USB drive beside her, and mapped her sabotage with surgical precision. Her gown hung in the corner, a reminder of the facade she'd shattered today. 7 months pregnant, betrayed by her fiancé and best friend, Maya Jackson was rewriting her destiny. Her first move was to solidify the legal front. She called Sarah Levine again, confirming the marriage license cancellation. "It's done," Sarah texted at 7 a.m. No record of a union with Ethan Caldwell exists. Maya exhaled, one chain broken. Next, she emailed her startup's board, formally requesting an emergency meeting post-wedding to address leadership concerns. She knew Ethan planned to leverage their marriage to claim Empower Code shares. This ensured he'd never get near them. Then came the financial strike. Uncle Raymond had already pulled his $50 million investment, and Maya called 2 more of Ethan's key investors, both women she'd charmed at gala dinners. "Check your emails," she said cryptically, forwarding snippets of Ethan's recorded arrogance about controlling her company. By 8 a.m., both investors texted back, outraged, promising to freeze their funds. Caldwell Enterprises stock would tank by noon. Maya didn't stop there. She contacted a tech journalist, anonymously leaking a tip about instability at Caldwell Enterprises. "Watch the wedding today," she hinted. The journalist, sensing a scoop, agreed to monitor. Maya knew the viral fallout would amplify Ethan's ruin. She also texted her cousin, a cybersecurity expert, to lock Ethan's access to joint projects. "He's out," her cousin replied within minutes. By 9 a.m., the brownstone was alive with wedding chaos, florists arranging roses, her parents directing caterers. Maya moved through it all, her face calm, but her mind a battlefield. Chloe arrived, all smiles, in a gold bridesmaid dress. "You look tired, Maya," she said, her voice syrupy. Maya's eyes narrowed, spotting Chloe's nervous glance. "Just nerves," she lied, her hand tightening on the bouquet, hiding the Bluetooth device. Chloe's betrayal stung. But Maya's revenge would sting harder. She slipped away to call Pastor Michael, the officiant. "Be ready for anything today," she warned. He chuckled, thinking it a bride's jitters. Maya didn't correct him. She needed the element of surprise. At 10 a.m., she stood before her mirror, slipping into her gown. The silk hugged her belly, her reflection fierce. "Grace, this is for us," she whispered, tucking the device deeper into the bouquet. Her parents knocked. "Time to go, baby girl," James said. Maya nodded, her silence heavy. The convoy to 1-1 was ready. Paparazzi already gathering. Ethan thought he'd won her. Chloe thought she'd outsmarted her, but Maya had outplayed them both. As the car rolled through Manhattan, she visualized the moment. 500 guests, Ethan's smug smile, Chloe's feigned innocence, and her voice, calm, lethal, unleashing the truth. New York's elite would witness a billionaire's fall, and Maya Jackson, a black woman who'd built her own empire, would rise. The stage was set, and she was ready to burn it down. The 1 penthouse glittered like a crown atop Manhattan, its glass walls framing a skyline that bowed to Maya Jackson's resolve. The wedding was a spectacle. 500 guests, senators, tech moguls, influencers sipped champagne under chandeliers. Pink roses cascaded from ceilings, gold accents gleamed, and a string quartet played softly. Maya, 7 months pregnant, stepped from the bridal car, her white gown flowing like liquid starlight. Her face was serene, but her eyes burned with purpose. The bouquet in her hands hid the Bluetooth device, her weapon for justice. Ethan stood at the altar in a tailored tuxedo, his billionaire charm dazzling the crowd. He shook hands, flashed smiles, and whispered to his best man, "She's here." I knew she'd come. Chloe, in her gold bridesmaid dress, hovered nearby, her smile tight, eyes darting. Maya's parents escorted her down the aisle, James whispering, "You're my queen." She nodded, her grip on the bouquet iron. Guests gasped at her beauty, phones recording every step. "God took extra time on her," someone murmured. Pastor Michael began, his voice warm. "Today, we celebrate love's triumph." Maya's heart thundered, but her face stayed calm. Ethan's vows came first, dripping with rehearsed sincerity. "Maya, you're my peace, my future. You carry our child, my heart. I promise forever." The crowd sighed, some wiping tears. Chloe's gaze flickered, smug. Maya took the microphone. Her moment arrived. Instead of vows, she reached into her bouquet and pressed the Bluetooth device's button. The sound system crackled. Ethan's voice boomed. Maya's naive. I'm marrying her for Empower Code shares. Once I've got control, I'm out. Chloe's giggle followed. She's nothing without that baby. Gasps erupted. Guests froze. Phones raised. Ethan's face drained of color. What is this? He stammered. Lunging for the mic, Maya held it high. Let it play, she said, her voice ice. The recording continued. Ethan's plan to seize her company laid bare. Murmurs turned to shouts. A senator stood, appalled. Chloe shrank, her face pale. Maya faced the crowd. This is what my fiancé did last night, while I planned our future. He mocked me, betrayed me, with her. She pointed at Chloe, whose eyes widened in panic. The room exploded, screams, whispers, chaos. Pastor Michael clutched his Bible, speechless. Ethan reached for her. Maya, it's not what you think. She stepped back. It's exactly what I heard. You laughed while I loved you. She turned to Chloe. And you, my best friend, stabbed me deepest. Chloe tried to flee, but guests blocked her, their glares venomous. Maya's voice rose, steady, lethal. I came to marry a man I trusted. Instead, I found the truth. She dropped the microphone, the thud echoing. Ethan stood frozen, his empire crumbling in real time. Chloe's socialite mask shattered. Maya walked toward the altar's edge, her gown trailing like a warrior's banner. The crowd parted, some clapping, others filming. She didn't look back. New York's elite had expected a fairy tale. Instead, they witnessed a black woman's wrath, a mother's strength, a queen's justice. The city below waited to hear her name. The penthouse at 1-1 was a battlefield. The air thick with shock. Maya Jackson stood at the altar, her white gown a beacon amid the chaos. The recording of Ethan's betrayal still echoed in the stunned silence. 500 guests reeling from the billionaire's exposed lies. Ethan Caldwell, once untouchable, was a ghost of himself, his face ashen, hands trembling. Chloe Bennett, Maya's best friend and betrayer, cowered in her gold dress, her socialite charm obliterated. Maya, 7 months pregnant, held the microphone, her voice a blade cutting through the opulence. This, she said, her tone calm but searing, is what happened while I dreamed of forever. Ethan planned to steal my company, my life. Chloe helped him mock me. She pointed at Chloe, whose attempt to slip away was blocked by a furious guest. You were my sister, Maya continued, her eyes locking onto Chloe's. You knew every hope I had, and you chose to break me. Chloe's head bowed, tears falling, but Maya's gaze didn't soften. The crowd murmured, phones capturing every word, every tear. Maya turned to Ethan. You called me naive. Said I was nothing without this baby. But you're the one who's nothing now. His mouth opened, but no words came. She held up the USB drive, its contents now viral. This is your truth, Ethan. Recorded in room 3501 of the Mandarin Oriental, where you and Chloe laughed at my love. Gasps rippled anew. A tech CEO in the front row shook his head, already texting investors. She faced the guests, senators, influencers, her parents' tearful faces. I came to be a bride, but I leave as a woman who chooses herself. With deliberate grace, she slipped off her engagement ring. Its diamond glinting one last time, and dropped it on the altar. The clang was deafening, a final note in Ethan's downfall. The crowd erupted, some shouted, others clapped, a few women stood, their eyes shining with pride. Chloe tried again to flee, but Maya's voice stopped her cold. Don't run, Chloe. You danced with my fiancé last night. Now face the music. Guests blocked Chloe's path. Their whispers venomous, homewrecker, traitor. Chloe sank into a chair, face buried in her hands. Ethan reached for Maya, desperation in his eyes. Please, let me explain. She stepped back. Her belly a shield. Your words already did. Maya walked down the aisle, her gown flowing like a river of defiance. Guests parted, some touching her arm, whispering, You're incredible. Her parents followed, James's face proud, Lorraine streaked with tears. Pastor Michael stood frozen, his Bible clutched tight. Outside, paparazzi swarmed. Cameras flashing as Maya stepped into the sunlight. Her baby, Grace, kicked, and for the first time in days, Maya smiled. The city roared below, unaware that Maya Jackson, a black woman who'd built an empire, had just toppled another. Ethan's lies lay in ruins, Chloe's reputation in tatters. Maya's denouncement wasn't just personal. It was a declaration. No woman, no mother, no queen would be silenced. As she entered her car, the world waited to amplify her voice. The moment Maya Jackson stepped out of 1 New York City ignited. Her recorded expose of Ethan Caldwell's betrayal, played before 500 elite guests, didn't just end a wedding. It sparked a global firestorm. By noon, the audio was uploaded to social media. Captioned, "Billionaire Busted, Pregnant Bride's Revenge." Hashtags, hashtag Maya Rising, hashtag Room 3501, trended worldwide within hours. Clips of Maya's speech, her voice steady as she denounced Ethan and Chloe, racked up millions of views. X-posts exploded. Maya Jackson is a queen. Black women don't play. News outlets, CNN, BBC, The New York Times ran headlines. Pregnant tech CEO exposes fiancé's deceit at lavish wedding. Maya, 7 months pregnant, sat in her Brooklyn brownstone, her phone buzzing relentlessly. Her parents, James and Lorraine, fielded calls from reporters while she stared at the viral video of herself dropping her engagement ring. "You okay, baby?" Lorraine asked. Maya nodded, her hand on her belly. "Grace and I are more than okay." The world saw her as a warrior, but inside, she was processing the pain, her heart still raw from Ethan's and Chloe's betrayal. The media storm was merciless to Ethan. Caldwell Enterprises stock plummeted 30% by evening as investors, tipped off by Maya, pulled funding. Ex-users dug into his past, unearthing shady deals, amplifying his downfall. Room 3501 became a meme, a synonym for betrayal. Ethan's PR team scrambled, issuing a weak denial, but Maya's recording was ironclad. He was spotted leaving his Manhattan penthouse, head down, paparazzi hounding him. His billionaire aura was gone, replaced by disgrace. Chloe fared no better. Socialite circles shunned her. Her influencer deals, cosmetics, fashion, were canceled overnight. Ex-posts branded her the worst best friend. Her tearful apology video mocked mercilessly. "I made a mistake," she sobbed. But the internet wasn't forgiving. Maya's cousin, who'd locked Ethan out of tech systems, leaked Chloe's texts to Ethan, further damning her. Chloe retreated to her Soho loft, curtains drawn. Her once glamorous life reduced to infamy. Maya, meanwhile, became a symbol. Women worldwide shared stories under hashtag Maya Rising, crediting her courage for inspiring them to leave toxic relationships. A single mother in Harlem tweeted, "Maya showed me I'm enough. I left my cheating husband today." Talk shows invited her. Oprah's team emailed. Maya declined, needing space. But the world wouldn't let her fade. Her startup, Empower Code, saw a surge in donations, her mission to teach coding to underserved youth now at global costs. By nightfall, Maya stood on her balcony. The city's lights sprawling below. Her parents joined her, James squeezing her shoulder. "You changed the game, Maya," he said. She smiled faintly, grace kicking inside her. The media storm wasn't just about Ethan's fall, it was about her rise. A black woman, pregnant and betrayed, had turned pain into power, her voice echoing from Brooklyn to Beijing. The world watched. But Maya knew this was just the beginning. She'd exposed the truth, and now she'd build something greater, a legacy for grace, for every woman who'd ever been underestimated. The storm raged on, and Maya Jackson was its unyielding center. The fallout from Maya Jackson's wedding expose was a tsunami, sweeping away Ethan Caldwell's empire and Chloe Bennett's gilded life. By the following morning, Caldwell Enterprises was a husk. Uncle Raymond's $50 million withdrawal triggered a domino effect. 5 major investors pulled out, citing trust issues. The New York Stock Exchange halted trading on Ethan's stock as it nosedived 60%. His Manhattan office, once a hive of ambition, stood empty. Assistants quit, suppliers cut ties, and his lawyer dodged calls. Ex-posts mocked him relentlessly, from billionaire to broke in 24 hours. Hashtag Room 3501. Paparazzi camped outside his penthouse, capturing his haggard face. A far cry from the polished tycoon. Ethan's attempts to salvage his reputation failed. A press conference, meant to spin the narrative, backfired when a reporter played Maya's recording, prompting boos. "I made mistakes," he stammered, but the crowd jeered. His mother, a socialite matriarch, disowned him publicly, calling his actions a disgrace to her name. By week's end, his company faced bankruptcy, his private jet repossessed, his name poisoned in elite circles. He retreated to a modest Queens apartment, alone, scrolling through X, where Maya's speech looped like a haunting refrain. Chloe's descent was equally brutal. Once a darling of Soho's influencer scene, she was now a pariah. Her 2 million followers dwindled to thousands as brands dropped her. A cosmetics deal worth $500,000 vanished, her fashion line shelved. Ex-users unearthed old posts of her with Ethan, branding her a serial betrayer. She tried a tearful Instagram live, sobbing, "I loved him. It was a mistake." But comments flooded with venom. "You broke Maya's heart." Her family, prominent in Manhattan, cut contact, ashamed. Chloe hid in her loft, curtains drawn, her once sparkling life reduced to shame. Maya, in her Brooklyn brownstone, heard the news through her cousin's texts. Ethan's done. Chloe's canceled. She felt no joy, only a quiet justice. 7 months pregnant, she rubbed her belly, whispering, "Grace, we're free." Her parents, James and Lorraine, watched her closely, proud but worried. "You sure you're okay?" James asked. Maya nodded. They chose their path. "I'm choosing mine." The world's outrage validated her, but her focus was on healing, on building a future untainted by their lies. Ethan's final blow came when a whistleblower leaked his emails, revealing he'd planned to oust Maya from Empower Code post-wedding. The tech community, already rallying behind Maya, boycotted his ventures. Chloe, desperate, texted Maya, "I'm sorry. Please talk to me." Maya blocked her. Her heart closed to the woman who'd called her nothing. Pastor Michael sent Maya a letter. "Your strength humbles us. God walks with you." She tucked it away, her resolve hardening. As Ethan and Chloe faded into infamy, Maya's name soared. Her story wasn't just gossip, it was a reckoning. A black woman, pregnant and betrayed, had toppled a billionaire and a socialite, not with tears but with truth. The consequences were clear. Deceit carried a price, and Maya had made them pay dearly. In the silence of her home, she prepared for what came next, her daughter's future brighter than the city skyline. 2 weeks after the wedding that never was, Maya Jackson sat in her Brooklyn brownstone, her belly rounder, her spirit fiercer. The media storm had crowned her a hero, but she wasn't chasing fame as she was chasing purpose. 7 months pregnant, betrayed by Ethan and Chloe, she turned pain into power, launching the Rise Up Foundation, a platform to empower black women and survivors of betrayal. Her mission: fund scholarships, create safe spaces, and amplify voices silenced by deceit. Empower Code's offices became its headquarters, a beacon for those seeking strength. Maya announced Rise Up on X, her post simple but seismic. "I walked away from a lie to build a truth. Join me. #RiseUp. The response was electric. Thousands pledged support, donations poured in, and women shared stories of abuse, inspired by her courage. A single mother in Chicago wrote, "Maya, you gave me the guts to leave my abuser. Thank you." Maya read each message, her heart swelling. She hired a team: counselors, educators, tech experts, all black women, to ensure the foundation's authenticity. Her parents, James and Lorraine, volunteered, James handling logistics, Lorraine counseling survivors. The foundation's first initiative was a scholarship for black girls in STEM, named after her unborn daughter, Grace. Within days, applications flooded in. Stories of dreams deferred by poverty or betrayal. Maya personally reviewed them, tears falling as she read a 16-year-old's essay. "My dad left us, but Maya showed me I can rise." She awarded 50 scholarships, funding them with Empower Code's profits and public donations. The launch event, held in a Harlem community center, drew hundreds: activists, students, survivors. Maya, in a simple blue dress, spoke. "Betrayal tried to break me, but it built this. We rise together." Rise Up safe spaces, opened in Brooklyn and the Bronx, offered counseling, job training, and coding boot camps. Women arrived broken, leaving empowered. A 40-year-old nurse told Maya, "Your story saved my life. I'm starting over." Maya's team partnered with local churches, including Pastor Michael's, to host workshops. He praised her. "You've turned a scandal into salvation." The foundation's website, designed by Maya's cousin, crashed from traffic, forcing an upgrade. Donations hit $2 million, fueled by #MayaRising's global reach. Maya's vision wasn't just local. She collaborated with international NGOs, sending resources to women in Nigeria, Brazil, and South Africa. A Lagos activist emailed, "Your story is ours. Keep fighting. Rise Up's coding camps trained 200 women in 3 months, many landing tech jobs. Maya's ex-posts, raw, real, kept the movement alive. No woman is nothing. We are everything. Her followers grew to 500,000, each post a spark for change. At home, Maya rubbed coconut oil on her belly, whispering to Grace, "This is your legacy." Lorraine watched, proud. "You're changing the world, baby." Maya smiled, exhausted but alive. The pain of Ethan's and Chloe's betrayal lingered. But Rise Up was her healing. A black woman, pregnant and once underestimated, had built a platform that shook systems. As she prepared for motherhood, Maya knew her foundation wasn't just saving others, it was saving her, too. The world watched, and Rise Up became a lighthouse for every woman ready to reclaim her power. 3 months after the wedding scandal, Maya Jackson stood reborn in her Brooklyn brownstone, cradling her newborn daughter, Grace. The labor had been grueling, rain-pounding New York as she pushed through pain in a Manhattan hospital. Her father, James, held her hand, whispering, "You're strong, Maya." When Grace's first cry pierced the air, Maya wept. Not from sorrow, but from purpose. This tiny life, with eyes like her mother's, was her reason to rise. The betrayal of Ethan and Chloe, once a wound, was now a scar proof of survival. Maya named her daughter Grace, a nod to the divine strength that carried her through. Back home, her brownstone was no longer a place of wedding dreams but a sanctuary of new beginnings. Lorraine rocked Grace, humming gospel, while Maya wrote. Her memoir, The Vows I Kept for Myself, poured out in late-night sessions, each word a reclamation. Published 6 weeks later, it hit the New York Times bestseller list, its raw honesty resonating globally. Women emailed her, "Your book gave me courage to leave my abuser." Maya read each, her heart full. Her startup, Empower Code, thrived, its coding app now in schools worldwide, thanks to donations sparked by #MayaRising. The Rise Up Foundation grew, too, opening a third safe space in Queens. Maya spoke at a university conference, Grace asleep on her chest, telling 1,000 students, "Walking away isn't weakness, it's knowing your worth." The hall erupted, some crying, others chanting her name. Ex-posts called her the Black Queen of Resilience, her story a beacon for survivors. At home, Maya's life was simpler but richer. She laughed with her cousin over video calls, danced with Grace to jazz, and planted roses with Lorraine. Pastor Michael visited, gifting a Bible inscribed, "You've walked into greatness." Uncle Raymond, whose investment pull had crushed Ethan, called weekly, proud. "You're unstoppable," he said. Maya smiled, feeling it. The pain of betrayal lingered, but Grace's coups drowned it out. "You're my miracle," she whispered nightly. Ethan's name faded, his Queens apartment a far cry from his lost penthouse. Chloe, shunned, had fled to Miami, her texts to Maya unanswered. The world had moved on, but Maya's impact hadn't. A letter arrived from a 17-year-old in Atlanta. "I left my toxic boyfriend because of you." Maya framed it, a reminder of her purpose. Her blog, The Bride Who Walked, had 100,000 followers, each post a lifeline for women worldwide. One evening, Maya stood on her balcony, Grace in her arms, the city's lights sprawling below. Her memoir's success funded Rise Up's expansion, and she'd signed to speak at a UN Women's Conference. A black woman, once betrayed, was now a global force. "We did it, Grace," she said, kissing her daughter's forehead. Her parents joined her, James's eyes misty. "You're our hero," he said. Maya's rebirth wasn't just personal, it was a movement. She'd turned a billionaire's lie into a legacy of truth, proving that a mother's love, a woman's strength, could change the world. As Brooklyn slept, Maya dreamed of tomorrow, unafraid, unstoppable. Whole. Maya Jackson's journey teaches us that betrayal, though a brutal teacher, reveals our deepest strength. When Ethan and Chloe shattered her trust, Maya could have crumbled. A pregnant black woman facing a billionaire's deceit. Instead, she chose herself, turning pain into power. Her story shows that true courage isn't staying in a lie for appearances, it's walking away, head high, to build a life of truth. Every step she took, from recording Ethan's words to launching Rise Up, proves that our worth isn't defined by those who hurt us, but by the choices we make in the wreckage. Maya's legacy, forged for her daughter Grace and millions of women, reminds us, you are never nothing. You are enough, always. This lesson is universal. Whether it's a partner's betrayal, a friend's knife, or a system's dismissal, the power to rise lies within. Maya, a black woman in a world that often undervalues her, built an empire from her pain, showing that resilience is our birthright. Her foundation, her memoir, her voice, they're proof that one woman's truth can spark a revolution. We all face moments where we must choose, shrink or shine. Maya chose to shine, and so can you. Now, it's your turn. Share your story of overcoming betrayal, whether on X with hashtag MayaRising or in a quiet journal entry. Your voice matters, and it might save someone else. Join Maya's mission at www.mayasrise.org. Donate, volunteer, or attend a Rise Up workshop. Empower Code's coding camps need mentors. Safe spaces need advocates. If you're in New York, visit a Brooklyn or Bronx center to connect with survivors. If you're far, amplify Maya's work online. Every action, small or grand, builds a world where women rise together. Like Maya, choose yourself, protect your worth, and let your strength light the way for others. The revolution starts with you. Take that step today.